the circuit at that point. But we take a listen to the words of that Zak Brown, the CEO of the McLaren, speak about what we should expect this weekend. Just this expectation to get the job done, and also the excitement within the camp of the McLaren. The words of Zak Brown.
Yeah, for me, it's obviously pretty intense. Abu Dhabi last year was, as we say, came down to 0.7 of a second on a final pit stop. We're excited. We're ready. Obviously, the last couple of races have been difficult, but a season's made up of 24 races, not your last two. So it's easy to kind of, in sport, always kind of pick out specific moments. Season's 24 races long, and we're excited. We've got two horses in the race, if you'd like, up against a pretty tough competition. Who's been here 4 times already, and we're going to just do the best we can. And for me, I've talked to the team, when we all grew up thinking about winning that big moment in sport, you didn't think about winning Monaco by a lap. You thought about it in your dreams of winning it on the last lap, the last corner with that pass around the outside of Ayrton Senna. That was the dream. So we're kind of living the dream.
That's a very positive spin.
Yeah, well, I'd rather win by a lap, make no mistake about it. But, we are where we are. We're leading the Drivers' Championship. We've got Oscar very close to Max. So if Max can do it, Oscar can do it. We've seen P3 many times go on to win it. So it's all to play for. And we're laser focused. We're ready to go. And, of course, there's an immense amount of pressure. It's not lost on us what's on, but we're ready for it.
We're ready for it. The words of Zak Brown. DOLAPO, they listen to him.
They are ready for it. Well,
the hard work can be undone on Sunday.
The funny thing is, this game, this sport is a very funny sport. Because imagine, I just sat here, I was listening to him now, and I thought imagine Lando Norris winning it, and then at the end of the day they just come out, the FIA just come out and say they are looking at some things and maybe they've breached some rules and something like that happened. And looking at it also at the start of the race, Oscar Piastri crashing out with Lando Norris. So a lot of scenarios can happen. It will just be very interesting to see, but I have a feeling that Lando Norris at the end of the day will take it. But then he has to keep his head up, because Max Verstappen have been in this position before. Yeah, it's 4 years ago, but he's more experienced.
Zak Brown mentioned that.
Yeah, so he's more experienced. He knows how to be calm when it comes to races like this. And Lando Norris have showed it over the last few games or few races that he's not someone who can be calm in this time. Yeah, I listened to his interview, a press conference he had some weeks ago where he said he's very calm. But then it's easier said than done. It does not look like someone who is calm. He has started well. He just needs to keep what he has done in the practice, keep it up, get into the qualifiers, make sure you are starting on podium in the qualifiers. Maybe if you can try as much as possible to start from P1 on the qualifiers, and if you can keep that up, even if you now can't keep it up, just make sure that during the race, over the 52 laps, keep yourself on the podium. It's just as simple as that to win it. And then maybe if Lando Norris win it, if he breaks the Max Verstappen winning run, maybe the next few seasons will become more interesting and it won't be a one-man race again. And I also feel like it would also tell a lot in what will happen in McLaren next season. It's locked in now. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri will be their drivers next season. Max Verstappen has a new teammate in Isakaja who will be joining him in 2025. Yuki Tsunoda will be leaving in 2026 rather. So, and it feels like Oscar with the way things are, if Lando Norris could win this year, or if Oscar Piastri win because he's still in the mix, next year the driver who wins would want to be the face of the team.
But when was the last time we had two drivers from the same constructor go down?
I think it happened with Lewis Hamilton, and I think it was Fernando Alonso or someone. I'm not very sure who it was. Both of them, it didn't get on to the last day, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was in 2015 or 2016 or thereabouts. It didn't go on to the last day. But Lewis Hamilton was involved. He and a teammate was involved, and they took it up onto the last day, or 2 weeks before the last day. Lewis Hamilton won it at the end of the day. And since then, Hamilton became the face of that team. That was Mercedes then. Hamilton became the face of the team, and Hamilton kept on winning races. So I feel like it's going to be like that for McLaren too, if at all they win. If they don't win, they have themselves to blame. Because I feel like this season is the season made for them. So if they don't win it, they won the Constructors' Championship last season, so it is just same of what they achieved last season, and they are supposed to improve from that this season. So I feel like if they lose out on winning and Max Verstappen wins again, it will be themselves to blame. But if they win it, if Lando Norris wins or Oscar Piastri wins, that person who wins the race becomes the face of the team going into next season. So I feel like that next season will just be all about going into the season with Lando Norris competing on Oscar Piastri competing. Max Verstappen will still be there with the way he is, and also Mercedes look like a team that has improved a lot as well. Kimi Antonelli and George Russell. So maybe they might also be in the mix next season. So it will be interesting to see. But then we first have to see what would happen in Qatar on Sunday. And I urge everyone who is not even a Formula One fan or who just does not really watch Formula One to sit in front of their TV and enjoy the race on Sunday.
Well, it's just as you said. Let's see what the outcome would be on Sunday. Would it be Max Verstappen winning his 5th championship or 5th driver's title? Oh, the McLaren would definitely be smiling with either Lando Norris or Oscar Piastri winning the title. Well, of course, 800 points for the constructors. That's indeed a good one. But now we move away from Formula One story and talk about a football story. The aftermath of the man that's calling it a quit with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. That's William Troost-Ekong. We have the words of Alexander Iwobi. Well, definitely speaking about the influence in which Troost-Ekong had within the folds of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But now, what a time that his retirement news popped up. This is just a few weeks before the African Cup of Nations, where, of course, he is one of the shortlisted players to be at the African Cup of Nations. But for many, they have said this is down to the fallout, or one of the reasons also might be down to the fallout with the Nigeria Football Federation and, the issue of boycotting games and all of that. But how can you describe William Troost-Ekong in your own words?
Well, a legend for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, though he didn't win anything. But then I think he's one of the best captains we've had in the last few years. The way he conducted the team, the way the team plays when he's the captain and when he's on the pitch of play, it's good enough. There are some things that do happen in the dressing room and does not get out because of his leadership. So he's a good leader for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And when you look at it, since 2015 that he made his debut for the Super Eagles of Nigeria till 2025, I remember there was a time when he was very popular with his other guy, Leon Balogun, during ball wall, like we do call them. Then they went to the 2018 World Cup together. And he played so well. He has been consistent for us because it's not really something that you see every time for a player, a defender in Nigeria to play 10 years of football, and he should play at that level for us. Before the last AFCON, everyone thought, okay, it's done and dusted for William Troost-Ekong. Even some people questioned him being called up to that team at that point in time. And then we went into the AFCON. It was our highest goal scorer in the competition. He played so well. So unfortunately, we lost.
Goal scoring defender in the history
of the African Cup of Nations as well. So
he won the most valuable player
also, and funny enough, he was not in the team of the season for CAF, team of the year for CAF that year, which is funny. So he has done his due. I feel like good for us that he won't be going to the AFCON. Yes, because what's the essence? This is the truth.
Okay, no, good for us, you say. Olaoluwa, I know. Just within the short list, not on the field of play yet.
I'm also expecting
Benjamin Fredericks
is out injured. Yes.
Out injured. So, are we still going to stick with Shemilogo Ajayi and Calvin Bassey now, or this man comes play for Nigeria?
No. Don't mention the name, please. No, you don't need to mention the name.
Let's take a listen to the words of Alexander. We'll be speaking about the influence in which William Troost-Ekong had within the folds of the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
Alex, thank you very much for joining me on this. Please, obviously, the captain has just retired. Thoughts on his retirement? Yeah, it's obviously a sad one for us because he's a big part of our team. But at the end of the day, I wish him well. He's a brother. He's helped out Nigeria. He's helped out me. And yeah, I just hope that the next chapter he has in life, that it goes well for him, and we will always support him. How do you think he'll be missed? What kind of void is he going to create in the national team? Of course, towards the end of his Nigerian career, he wasn't playing as much as probably he would like, but he was still a big part of our team. His voice, the way he was leading us, and the way he just made sure that the togetherness in the team was very high and very strong. So he'll be very missed. He was a big leader for us, and yeah, I'm sure we have other leaders that can follow in his footsteps as well, but we all wish him well.
All right,
leaders like yourself.
So far, Alexander, I will be saying the wish William Troost-Ekong so well. So now, in our own build-up to the African Cup of Nations, let's listen to this. And when we come back, we'll just talk about the World Cup proper.
Is not just a game in Nigeria. It's our rhythm, our pulse, our pride. From the heat of Lagos in 1980 to the night skies of Johannesburg in 2013, the Super Eagles have soared, stumbled, and risen again.
1980 was the first time Nigeria would host that kind of an event, and it was the first time we also believed that we had the chance of winning.
Some television was in outside in the main road when motor is passing like this close.
You don't get to the stadium as early as 7, you won't get a seat.
In 1994 sets didn't just start in 1994 during the AFCON and the World Cup.
We knew we had a very strong team. Backroom staff was also very strong. Pure professionalism, we're under the tutelage of Clemens Westerhoff.
I can't think of one Nigerian who believed that the experiment that the late big boss himself, Stephen Keshi, was about to undertake there was the right mode, as it were.
The finals was like, oh, it's the finals. We worked so hard, and then we're now in the finals, and then this is just the last. We just need to wrap it up.
For me, I felt really emotional. I cried. I just can't believe that at last we are crowned the champion of Africa.
90 minutes, I started crying already. It was a bad feeling.
If these guys can actually do it in their own era, that's even, I think it was more difficult, then why not? We can actually do the same.
For me as an individual, I've really, learned a lot, from the previous AFCON. So I think the next one will be really, really exciting.
All right, today listen to the words of former past winners of the African Cup of Nations with Nigeria. And the last voices you heard, Samuel Chukwueze, Wilfred Ndidi, Victor Osimhen. They came so close at the last edition. We have next week to talk about that's the African Cup of Nations, the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We'll take a look at what we can expect from the three-time African champions, 1980, 1994, and 2013. Can we do it again? We sang that last year, but we didn't. This year, can we do the same? Going into the new year with a title. After, or let's say, would it be a redemption for missing out on the World Cup places? But now talking about the World Cup, Dolapo, what do you expect? Since we have the top seeds, who definitely won't be able to face each other till they get to the final.
I'm sorry, I feel like we won't be having a group of death in this World Cup because of the numbers of teams that will be participating. For us to World Cup, that would have 48 teams, and the draw would take place in America, in the USA today, and we'll be having close to 2 hours for the draw. A lot of dramas will be happening there, the villagers and all of the people who has been drawn down to see. But then we'll come here tomorrow and talk about how the draw goes. But sadly, we won't see Nigeria. But then the other 9 teams from Africa, I want to see where they are.
Dolapo wants to see where they are. Democratic Republic of Congo can be the 10th African nation to be at the World Mundial. But this is how far we can go on today's edition of the show. Will come your way tomorrow. The pitch, right on 32 FM 94.9.